Namaste programs and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nevada Bush Trip leg 14. We're going from 88 NV, which is a Black Rock City, to NV 16, which is Lackaman Airstrip. So without further ado, let's go. It'll let me. There we go. What do we want? We want 301 to start off with. Let's get in the air. Let's go to 301 heading. For 5 minutes 17. Fly geyser. Say goodbye to Black Rock City and head northwest once you're in the air. Pick up the area's main road again and follow it. You'll soon be rewarded with a view of the Hualapai Flat. Probably murdered that. 301 I want. Let's see. Cut across to the north and west corner, you'll discover a swampy network of pools known as the famous Fly Geyser. Fly Geyser. I don't want no Fly Geyser. Here we go. 3001. Where's this alleged road? Over on the left there? Is that the road? The area's main road. Goodbye, Black Rock City. Very strange shaped town. Strange indeed. What's it? Why? What's it surrounding there? It must have been, what, the mines are in the middle there, maybe? Just all grew up in a semicircle around that, or? Is it just one big drive-in theatre? Oh, this must be the Hualapai Flat? Yes, it's more like a lake, but hey, who am I to complain? There's the road over on the left. Didn't start the clock. So let's assume we've done about 2 minutes, maybe, minute and a half of 5. We'll just have to look out for the Fly Geyser on the northwestern corner of the flat. A swampy network of pools. Right, let's trim down just a tad, power down just a tad, and start our level flying. That's something man-made there, it almost looks like it. They've carved out a little area for growing trees or something, or is it just an optical illusion? Could be anything, really. Okay, interesting. So let's see, we've done nearly 2 minutes since I actually started the clock, so we might be towards this. If this is the Hualapai Flat, and then yeah, these geysers are this thing right in front of us. Hey, you geysers! The Fly Geyser. Is that because it's inhabited by insects? Or is it named after Mr. or Mrs. Ms. Fly? Questions that I don't have answers for. let's see, the next, well, the next turn is literally 4 degrees to the left, so it does say once past the geyser. So I'm going to wait till we're after past this this pool here, this geyser, and then we will turn ever so slightly. Well, we're already 4 degrees to the right of where we should be. There we go. 301. And we will begin our turn momentarily. Any second now. Let's see. I reckon that'll do. 298. So ever so slightly that way. There we go. For 3 minutes 15. Let's actually do the clock this time. Red Mountain Creek. Once past the geyser, follow the heading towards a deep creek bed, inviting you to follow it into the surrounding mountains. Deep creek bed, huh? Are we going into the mountains? If so, let's power up a bit, trim down up a bit, and climb up a bit. As always, such maneuvers are preferable to slamming into the side of the mountain. There is in fact a tooltip when the bush trip is loading that says something like, if you see mountains, begin climbing, because you may need it. And I'm like, well, that's just a really weird way of saying, do not crash into the side of the mountains, fly over them. Yes, some people just like, oh, mountain, didn't see that, time to climb. I wish they'd put a tooltip that explained that to me. So, creek bed, Red Mountain Creek. Well, this mountain in front of us looks pretty reddish. Is that Red Mountain? Is that the creek just in here? Deep creek bed, inviting you to follow it into the surrounding mountains. I think so. I think that's our deep creek bed. Okay then. Definitely a creek bed. And definitely a reddish mountain. So there you go, Red Mountain Creek. Once we've arrived at it, we're timing wise, we're meant to arrive in about a minute. That looks about right. Because we're climbing, we're not as fast over the ground, so we're probably a bit going to be a bit late. So let's see, another 40 seconds or so. I think we're going to be beyond the creek by the time the timing has come up. Maybe not. 30 seconds or 35 seconds. It's going to turn once I'm over the creek. That seems like the most logical way of doing things. There it is now. Hello, creek. Lovely to meet you. Right, what's next? 260 for 4 minutes 51. Okay, 260, there it is, following the creek. I think we can power down a little bit. We don't need to be climbing anymore, I don't think, although we're just higher than that mountain in front of us. I think we should be alright. Cliff! Tracking the creek for a short distance, you'll find the water's fork around one of the foothills. Choose the northbound flow. Continue along the contours of the creek bed, and eventually you'll be led onto a grassy plain. Behold the hills ahead of you, and opposing them on the other side of the valley, a cliff face. Behold, gentlemen. Behold the cliff face of doom. What are we doing? 260, 4 minutes 51. We've done a minute. I'm gonna just make it over the top of this mountain, I think. Why did my engine just sound like it was about to cut out? Was I just imagining things? That is quite possible. Chance? Possible. Where's this cliff then? I guess that range there is saying it's the cliff, huh? A cliff face. Basically following the creek really. Choose the northbound flow. We are very definitely not going north. We are very definitely going west. What you talking about? Instructions? I mean, it's, I guess, where it split. One went that way, one went the other way. Or I guess they come from that way. Alright, we've done 250 or 450, so another 2 minutes to go. Okay, yeah, that's the cliff over there, I guess. The creek has turned into a dry pool kind of thing. Hey, 1 more minute to go. 1 more minute. 1 more minute. The cliff is sort of to our left, but that's fine. That's fine. What's our next turn? Slightly to the right. Okay. Guess we're basically turning when we get to the top of this ridge. Ridgy ditch. Okay, pretty much where we need to be. Probably following this road, huh? What's the bet? So, 274 for 723. Follow the heading across the hills and you eventually find Route 447 running towards the northeast. Oh, I've gone way too far. 274. Guess we're not following that road. Well, sort of almost following that road. Leading you towards mountainous rise on the eastern side of the highway. Be on the lookout for another dirt road junction just before it. Buckhorn Junction's where we're headed. That's right, good old Buckhorn Junction. Probably lose a bit of height now. And this is the second last segment before landing. So we've gotten over the mountains, I assume. Let's see, 7 minutes? Yeah, we're heading to those mountains on the other side there, but I don't think we'll quite reach them before we find the highway. What happened to our road? It's over there. Heading up and over those little hills and then way off into the distance. Good road. There's a good road. A little road that could. Look at this scenery. It's so amazing. Hills and riverbeds and well, roads and stuff. Oh yeah, we've got another road here, so is that the one, maybe? Mountainous rise on the eastern side of the highway. Again, this mountainous rise in front of us is on the western side of a road. Perhaps we need to be over the mountainous before we get to the highway. Either that or the scriptwriter got himself or herself confused. What's going on down there? Is that a bridge that's been algorithmed in, or am I just seeing things? Could be just seeing things. Just here, I don't quite get what's it's a little pool of water, maybe. In the previous angle, it looked like a weird sideways bridge. But alas, it is not. We have not seen aliens for many legs now. We must be out of alien territory. I thought they were back, but they are not. Not since the giant golf hole. Have we seen evidence of our alien brethren? Well, this is certainly a highway. Be on the lookout for another dirt road junction just before it. Although, we've only done 3 minutes of 7.5, so I guess we are going to be on the side of these, other side of these hills / mountains. Fair enough, fair enough. Yes, it's all so lovely, so calm and peaceful. Why am I suddenly going so slow? I know I was trying to drop out of the air a bit, but not at the expense of speed. Thought I trimmed down. I'm trimming down right now and it's now saying up. Go on, plane. Point your nose down just a tad more. What are we looking at? 4.5 minutes of 3.5 minutes, another 3 minutes to go. There must be a dirt track. We've got the highway on our left. I'm pretty sure that must be the 44-7. Be on the lookout for another dirt road junction, okay. Just before it, just before the mountainous thing on the east side of the... That just doesn't make sense. I mean... Oh, it makes sense if we're over here somewhere and then the mountains are to the east, which is behind us. Anyway, I'm hoping we'll see something that's obviously a junction between the highway and a dirt track. In about 2 minutes. Sorry if you heard that. That's my 97-year-old grandmother in the background clearing her throat from about 2 rooms away. I was trying not to talk then because I could hear her making noise, because you'd be able to hear it behind my voice, but if not talking, the sound gate should cover that, but that was so loud I noticed it registered on my microphone, so I apologise for that noise. Alright, about a minute to go. So, do we see a dirt track? This a track at all? No, it looks more like a creek or something. There's a dirt track here. Perhaps that's a junction. Maybe that's what I'm aiming for. About the right time. It might be even a bit early, but unless there's another one at the other side over here somewhere, maybe. No, this maybe is a dirt track below us. Maybe we're actually heading directly to that one. There we go. I'll call this the junction that they're talking about. Buckhorn Junction. Could be that one there. Not sure. Could be this one here. In fact, is that a tiny little town there, or maybe a farmhouse or something that hasn't got any buildings registered in? It's definitely a clearing of some sort. All right. Well, here we go. I think we now want 262 for 343. Lackerman Airstrip. This dirt road will quickly lead to a fork. Oh, I've gone way too far. 262. I've had in my head 242. Alright, there we go. This way. Maybe that's the dirt road over on the left there. There was the other one. You should take the western branch. Up ahead, the road will make a sharp northern turn at a 90-degree angle. Just north of this, before a tract of farmland, is a dirt airstrip for you to land at. This is Lackerman Airstrip. Now, again, we have a picture of the corner of some farmland, like a nice green field, a kind of not quite green field, and then a field that's almost completely yellow. And then there's just some random scratchings in the dirt that I don't know which one is the runway. None of them actually seem straight, but must be up here somewhere. And this fork, we are taking the western branch at least, yeah. And then up ahead it'll make a sharp 90-degree turn. Alright, okay, there's the sharp 90-degree turn going northy. This is the farmland. Yeah, okay, so somewhere here is apparently airstrip. Yet again, well done, designers of this bush trip, finding the local bush airstrips that are completely invisible from the air, especially from your little photos. Where is it? There's a sort of a bit of a road coming off it. It definitely pretty much ends at the edge, the straight edge of a farm. So maybe looking at the picture, it would be something like going like that, or let's start losing height. Let's hope when we get a bit closer, it becomes a bit clearer. Is it on the other side of the... That's a possibility too. Is it on the other side of the... Just north of this, before a tract of farmland? Again, if the picture is north-south, which it possibly is, and we're coming in west, then actually it would be this over here somewhere, maybe. I am not seeing anything that looks like a runway. Okay, so there's no water in the picture. I mean, by the instruction, it must be here somewhere, because it's follow the road that's going north and before a tract of farmland. Oh, it's a radar, the radar field, didn't even notice. So, if I'm looking at the picture, it would have to be... The colours don't quite match. It's a road that goes off as I'm not seeing that. Oh wow, I'm basically 0 airspeed. Clever of me. How was I not stalling? I've managed to get this plane to do something impossible. Alright, so judging by the picture, it's one of these. It's either that, or this is the runway. I don't know. None of them look particularly like runways, if you want my personal opinion. Does the VFR map tell me the direction of it? It doesn't, so I guess we're just going to have to land in this sort of general area and hope one of them is the runway. I'm just going to aim for this, I guess. Want of something better to do. It's not a runway. It's not a runway. What's going on? I mean, on the picture, this is about the only thing that looks sort of like it would be the runway. I mean, it's kind of straight. Okay. I guess I'll allow it. Possibly a runway. Bit of a scratching in the grass here. About the best you could say about it. So there's some markings there. Alright, well let's just see. I'm guessing I'm not actually on the runway. Maybe that side bit was the runway? What if I stop here? It's the runway. There you go. Look at this. This isn't the same picture. But, so the runway was, like, you can't even see it from this angle either. Invisible. Anyway, that was leg 14 of the Nevada bush trip. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can join me for the next one. Coming soon on the channel. Au revoir. Goodbye.